Hello, dear friends. Mercy, Lord, mercy. If my faults are great, your goodness is greater. This mantra is the lyrics of an anonymous prayer. Opinion piece. Compassion. Just be kind. Darkness is over. Living without fear. Universal solidarity. Confidence in future. Let's start. Compassion is a feeling of tenderness and identification with the problems of humankind and the desire to help. More intense than empathy, compassion is the perception and understanding of the suffering of another, and the desire and action to alleviate, reduce, or completely eliminate such a painful situation. The Buddhist spiritual tradition has made this feeling its own attitude. Every living being deserves this mercy, this solidarity. It refers to a feeling of empathy and affection whose desire is to alleviate the suffering of all sentient beings. Buddhist compassion is clearly distinguished from the compassion of the way criticized by Nietzsche, since he expresses strength, since it expresses strength, power, confidence in the ability to intervene, self-control, and affirmative self-esteem. Compassion is linked to the practice of liberation. As inner freedom grows, one's capacity for compassion increases. Universal compassion, which encompasses all sentient beings without exceptions, is the heart of this spirituality. Compassionate love, described in the original texts as compassion, companionship, and empathy that gives rise to action, is based on the desire to alleviate suffering and bring joy. It is based on respect for the inherent dignity of life and the desire to see the potential for enlightenment flourish in all beings. Avalokiteshvara, known as Chenrezig in Tibetan, is considered the Buddha of compassion. Compassion should be the genuine motivation of any belief system and is essential at the beginning, during, and at the end of the journey. Piety. Absorbing light is simply living goodly and is the body's best defense against toxic elements and all forms of pollution because it helps maintain balance. Pity refers to compassion, clemency, or mercy shown towards something or someone. Piety is a virtue that inspires tender of devotion and acts of solidarity and compassion. The strongest souls are being hit by the surging energy during this last phase of the battle between light and darkness. The darkness knows it is finished, and the waves it is causing in its last breaths are being counted by intensified light from countless sources and off the planet, on and off the planet. The third density body is susceptible to attacks of fatigue and imbalance caused by conflicting energies, says Matthew through his mother, Susan Ward. Each soul has its own unique streamer of light that identifies it regardless of its station of spiritual evolution, where it is in the universe or in a physical or etheric body or free spirit state. You are eternal beings of love light, and the high frequency of your energy has created improvements on the planet. You are that powerful and influential. This will help you navigate the coming months with self confidence, peace of mind, and optimism about the future of the Earth. Transformation. The transformation of the carbon structure comes with the absorption of light, and that occurs easily. It's as simple as being kind. Crystalline cells contain cosmic knowledge and allow bodies to retain their viability in the astral planes where the Earth is heated. Words emit vibrations, and the frequencies of light, peace, and love are among the highest of them. Through the universal law of attraction, or like attracts like, the vibration of words combine with like and go out into the world. Words in high vibrational ranges merge with light. Words in low vibrational ranges are attracted to streamers of energy with dark attachments, and word emissions intensify the source to which they bind. The light is within your spirit. The feeling you describe as joyful when something brings you joy or you are remembering something that was special to you. Think about how you feel when one of your dogs comes to pet you. You listen to one of your favorite symphonies, or you see a beautiful sunset. It's like your entire being lights up, and that's what's happening. In reality, the experience simply fills with your light. The quiet emotion of watching a sunset or listening to a songbird is love, and the smile is one of the simplest and most radiant expressions of love. Spiritual growth consists of learning to live without fear, learning to fully trust in the unmatched power of affection. Listening to yourself is love. Feel joy in yourself or when you see it in others is love. Doing something that brings joy to another is love. Forgiveness of self and others is love. Doing good deeds without setting expectations is love. Feeling peace in the heart and mind is love. Blocking. The reception of light is the province of the soul. The absorption of light is the responsibility of the body, which directs the light towards its cells that have been programmed to accept it. However, negative energy connections block light, thus preventing its entry. It is through that blocking process that dark forces can make puppets of people whose intentions and free will decisions are based on greed, cruelty, and a lust for power. Such people cannot produce light on their own to elevate their motives and actions, and that is why light must be sent to them from other sources. That is why it is vitally important to send light to people whose behavior and actions you consider detestable, to try to illuminate the decisions and activities. Verbal or written supplications may or may not touch their consciousness, because that layer of soul atrophies when your messages to their consciousness are ignored over and over again. And the light that reaches you at the soul level is the only way to help. That is why we urge you to send light to people whose actions you consider excessive or diabolical. This is not condoning what they do or being indifferent to the suffering they cause, and it is certainly not supporting their actions. What it is understanding that darkness is not the enemy of light, nor the opposite of light. It is just the absence of light, and only by having that void full of light can the darkness in people be overcome. The painful wounds of people and the earth itself have been caused by all forms of what we could call evil. It needs to be exposed or brought to light so that healing can come. Light is light or love is the only essence in the universe that can help that can heal pain, whether in a single person or a universal force field with such magnitude of darkness that you can begin to imagine it. Economy. A financial storm is brewing that governments cannot combat. States prepare for the collapse of fiat currency and gold as real money. The price of gas in Europe reaches its highest level this year after the blackout in Norway. CEOs earn almost 200 times more than their workers. Sergei Nazarov says 2024 is the year cryptocurrencies and the global financial system merge. The transition to a multipolar model of the world economy is one of the central themes of the St. Petersburg Economic Forum. More than 17,000 participants from 130 countries confirmed their attendance at the event, which takes place between June 5th and 8th. The banking system is currently in an unspoken liquidity crisis, and many changes are happening behind the scenes. These bank measures are part of the process that will move money into a financial system that is more secure than before, and that will meet the needs of the next stage of our financial and spiritual evolution. Currently, we are witnessing the fusion of the new economic backed by gold. It is a gold standard formulated through digital protocols. Both the gold and the assets are in their final phases of legislative development and completion. Enjoy the show. Conflicts. Record number of armed conflicts in the world. The G7 supports Biden's plan for a ceasefire in Gaza. Slovenia joins Spain, Ireland, and Norway and recognizes a Palestinian state. Ukraine uses Western weapons on Russian territory for the first time. Russia doesn't rule out attacking French soldiers in Ukraine. Asia. Indian President Narendra Modi declares his victory despite the electoral setback. India's temperature reaches a record level due to the heat wave. Aeroponic agriculture in India. Aeroponic cultivation is a technique that uses air or fog to grow plants without the use of soil. The splendid lakes of Tibet are expanding. The Chinese probe collects samples from the far side of the moon for the first time in history. Russian cosmonaut Kononenko sets the record for 1,000 days in space. Spain. China cuts Spain to pressure the EU on its electric vehicles. Living on rent increases the risk of poverty by more than 12 million Spaniards. The family business warns that political polarization does not favor investment. A pro-Russian hacker group is attacking Spain non-stop. Critics of Spanish politics captured the discontent in the European elections. Americas. Biden decreased the prohibition of asylum and the deportation of immigrants who have crossed from Mexico. New York has received 200,000 immigrants in 2 years. 20% of New York City hotels are now immigrant shelters. The president of Argentina will rely on Google artificial intelligence to reform the state. The Attorney General of Peru denounces attacks by the executive and legislative against the prosecutor's office. Brazil's GDP grew by 0.8% in the first quarter of 2024. Giant rock engravings discovered in the Orinoco of Colombia and Venezuela. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.